The Archdiocese of Chicago is a vibrant and diverse faith community. We celebrate our faith through worship, evangelization, and reaching out to the needy. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Good morning and welcome to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann and we hope your Tuesday morning is off to a great start. We are grateful to all those who are sharing time with us on WNDZ 750 AM here in Chicago and all who are watching our live stream on YouTube and Facebook at Catholic Chicago, which is the account for the Archdiocese of Chicago. We are so delighted this morning to start a two-part series on one of Catholic Charities' most uplifting, successful initiatives, the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. This program assists single parents with case management and employment services for up to 5 years as they work toward greater stability for themselves and their children. The stories that emerge from the Family Self-Sufficiency Program are incredibly inspiring. Here to provide an update on the program for 2024 are Patti Fuller, manager of the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, Donna Drinka, director of the Community Casework Department in Lake County, and Xochitl Villarreal, a terrific case manager who works individually with participants in the program. Welcome, Patti, Donna, and Xochitl.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us today and sharing the great update for us on this wonderful program. You know, Patti, can we start with you? Can you please give an overview of the Family Self-Sufficiency Program for those who in our audience who might not be familiar with it?
Sure, Katie. So as you mentioned, the goal of this program is really to help our single heads of household in Lake County and their families overcome obstacles to become self-sufficient and begin earning a living wage. The program is very unique in that it does provide 5 years of case management support with focuses on maintaining stable housing as well as obtaining necessary education and employment skills to achieve that financial stability. So each person is treated with very unique care. As staff members, we develop plans to meet everyone's individual needs. So our services are provided in English and Spanish. Currently, we have about 93 households in our program, and we have at least a dozen more additional applicants that are on our books that case managers are working with to set up for intake. So our average age of a family coming in, the head of household coming in, is early to mid-30s. And while that program is targeted to the head of the household, we have found that the children of those heads of households also benefit. We find that a lot of their children are on the honor roll, they are completing high school, going on to college, learning about financial literacy themselves, very much in result of watching their parents work so hard to succeed.
That's really so inspiring, Patti. As you said, not only are the parents gaining greater sense of stability and independence in their lives, but their children are learning these great lifelong skills as well.
Yes, for sure. We see it ourselves in person. We have children talk to us. A lot of our parents are looking for those apprenticeship programs for their children to join for summer work as well. I worked with several individual heads of households whose children are in college right now themselves. So it is very rewarding for the parents. They want a different life than they might have had for themselves, for their children.
That's so wonderful. And can you talk to us a little bit about the requirements for entering the Family Self-Sufficiency Program?
Sure. So participants upon entry need to be what we call stably housed. They need to be a single head of household in Lake County, and they need to have children who are under the age of 18. These individuals we want also to be very committed to becoming self-sufficient through those pieces of education and employment. Most participants are single mothers. We also, though, have single fathers. We have grandparents raising grandchildren. However, any adult relative who is helping to raise a child under the age of 18 is welcome. And the program, once they are in, runs the same for all of those individuals I just spoke of, regardless of single mother, father, or grandparent raising grandchild.
And our live stream is showing some photos from the wonderful annual achievement celebration that you host, in which the participants are proudly receiving certificates and flowers, for different milestones they've reached along the way. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the program. But Patti, one more other question for you. The Catholic Charities Network is so rich throughout Cook and Lake counties. Can you talk about how that network supports you and your staff members as you're trying to assist the participants throughout the 5 years of their involvement?
Sure. Yeah, we work internally with many of the other Catholic Charities programs. We have a food pantry here on site, and as case managers, we are able to directly connect individuals who are having some food insecurity with our food pantry here. We also have the emergency assistance program here that helps with rent utility support, so we can do a direct referral and connection there. Many of our individuals, while they are in the program, may need those parenting and pregnancy support services, so we can do a direct referral there. We have a very unique relationship with our housing program. So individuals who are coming out of homelessness that might go through one of our housing programs, then do a direct referral to us here at Family Self-Sufficiency. So we help maintain that stable housing once they achieve it. With our grandparents raising grandchildren, we do a lot of connection with the senior services as well. So we really work to try to create that wraparound and support for our individuals. And we work very extensively in the Lake County community with external agencies that might be needed for that type of ongoing support for a household.
And I know that there's talk about expanding this program into Cook County as well. And Patti, really, all the reasons that you just mentioned help explain why the Catholic Charities Family Self-Sufficiency Program really is such an all-inclusive, wraparound kind of program for those who are possibly facing homelessness, correct?
Yes, I think we pride ourselves mostly on that. The support that we can provide, the work is really done by the individual in the program. But a lot of times it does take that gentle nudging and the support of a case manager to lift somebody up, to be in that space, to be able to go after that and develop those skills of advocating for their children and for themselves. So for sure, we do believe we are unique. We know we are, and we recognize and see those successes in our participants.
And I know when you talk about successful, compassionate case managers, Donna and Xochitl are right up there at the top of them at Catholic Charities. I'd like to turn to Donna for a minute and just ask you, I know you've been involved in Lake County case management for a long time, Donna. Can you remind us how many years you've been with Catholic Charities?
Sure. I've been with Catholic Charities for 17 years.
That's amazing. And can I ask how, in your experience, the Family Self-Sufficiency Program has evolved through those years?
It has. Since I've been with Family Self-Sufficiency, we've maintained our core concepts of case management, client-centered services, and staff support. But obviously there has been some changes and adjustments that we've had to make, especially like during COVID, not just with our service delivery, but also with our client events. For example, every year we have a client holiday party in December, and usually we have a nice luncheon, and there's Santa, and we have activities for the families. Well, during COVID, we did a drive-through, and it was a lot of fun for the staff getting all these bags together, and we had all the clients come through, and they drove through, and we also had Santa, and the kids were excited. There's even cars going by on the road just honking, at Santa and just the activities that were happening. So we were able to adjust very positively, as well as we're able to enhance some programs as well throughout the time I've been here that, again, we've been able to offer scholarships to some of our clients based on some of the funding that we received, as well as, again, going back to some of our client events. We have an annual client picnic, and it started off being like a cookout in a park, and then it started to evolve, and we evolved into now we have like a carnival theme, and that's really fun. We have hot dogs and cotton candy, and but now we've even enhanced it more that we have like community resources. We have the fire department coming, and the kids really love that, and so it's getting to be just broader, and more fun. And so that's great.
You've also mentioned to me, Donna, that more volunteers and more benefactors are learning about this rich, wonderful program that takes people from, one place to, completely independent and self-sufficient and able to handle things so much on their own. I just wonder if that's another area that you've seen evolve through the years. All the Friends of Catholic Charities want to be part of the Family Self-Sufficiency Program.
They do. It's amazing. We have such a dedicated group. Going back to the carnival picnic, we had volunteers. They would take one sort of a game, a carnival game, and they just took it on and they created it and they sponsored it and they hosted it. And it was a lot of fun because we had about, I don't know, 8 to 10 different carnival themed games, and it was all controlled or by our volunteers. As well as Patti and I were just talking, volunteers are reaching out to us, saying, how can we help? What do you need from us? And we have a very special group of core volunteers that we could not provide the services that we do because we need them for not just the client events, but for our monthly meetings, for this monetary donations as well. So it's just we just couldn't do our job without them.
And I'm sure that all of those extra efforts, Donna, affirming the participants can't help but be a key reason why they continue in the program and accomplish so many things. Can I ask you before we move over to Xochitl, Donna, can you please share with anybody in our audience who'd like to learn more about volunteering with the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, what's the best way for them to reach out to you or Patti?
I'd say the best way is actually contacting Patti to be able to know like what events are coming up or what area of need that we do need a volunteer, because we have our achievement celebration coming up, and it's again, that's a little bit different than we did last year, and so we need volunteers in the serving the meal. We need some setup, some cleanup, and childcare as well. With this event, we don't want the clients not to come to these events because of childcare issues. And so we have a childcare area that's a lot of fun for all the kids. So yeah, just contact Patti or myself. But yeah, that's the best way.
Wonderful. So for anyone in our audience who's interested, please email pfuller, Fuller, at CatholicCharities.net or Drinka, Drinka, at CatholicCharities.net to get closer to this whole program and volunteer your services. I know there's wonderful opportunities there. Xochitl, I'd like to turn to you now and just say that I too have great admiration for what you do every day, and just wondering if you can share with everybody how long you've been involved with the Family Self-Sufficiency Program and what your average day is like.
Yeah, I have actually been with the agency for 9 years, but I've been with the Family Self-Sufficiency Program since mid-July.
Wonderful. And so how many households are you currently assisting, Xochitl?
Currently, I have 38 households with 5 pending intakes.
That's really a very full load, because I know you spend an awful lot of time with the folks at the very beginning, but then you stay with them. And as Donna mentioned earlier, that personal accompaniment that Catholic Charities is known for is so profound in this case, in this program, as you're encouraging people to establish goals and then achieve them, no matter what the obstacles are along the way. In your experience with this program, Xochitl, can I ask what you think are the most important qualities of a case manager in this Family Self-Sufficiency Program, or really anywhere at Catholic Charities?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with the Family Self-Sufficiency Program in particular, it's important to be understanding, empathetic, compassionate, and have really good active listening. Our program participants have been through a lot, and so being able to be patient and comfortable being in awkward situations or spaces and conversations, and also just having the courage to be able to speak out and advocate for our participants.
Those are wonderful qualities, but they, I'm sure, don't come easily. I'm sure you're trying to be very attentive to each person's needs and respond appropriately. So Catholic Charities is so fortunate to have you, Xochitl, and I'm so pleased to be here with all the three of you today as we discuss Catholic Charities' wonderful Family Self-Sufficiency Program. We invite you all to stay tuned, and we'll be right back after this break with more of our conversation.
Community is core to Catholic Charities' founding mission. For more than 100 years, we have met people and families where they are, serving anyone in need, regardless of their faith, gender, race, or ethnicity. As our world absorbs the economic, political, and social aftershocks of the pandemic, 50% or more of the 6 million people living in Cook and Lake counties have little or no savings. They are a paycheck away from zero. We are deeply grateful to everyone in the Catholic Charities community who partners with us to alleviate the suffering of the people we serve and offer them a better path forward. We are witnessing a message of mercy and hope to a world very much in need. Learn more at CatholicCharities.net.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
Our school communities provide students with academic excellence and character education in a supportive and stable learning environment. Come see for yourself. Visit artchicago.org/findaschool.
Do you have an old bicycle that's not being used? Consider donating it to Catholic Charities Veterans Bike Project of Lake County. Skilled volunteers are refurbishing bicycles to make them safe and ready to be used by veterans to get to and from their new places of work. We also gratefully accept financial contributions that are used to purchase bike helmets and other safety accessories. Our veterans have faithfully served the United States, and now it is our privilege to serve them. For more information on the Veterans Bike Project of Lake County, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
Welcome back to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and it's my great pleasure today to have with me 3 staff members of Catholic Charities' Family Self-Sufficiency Program. This is one of the programs that is so inspiring at Catholic Charities because we assist single heads of households, single parents in most cases, for up to 5 years as they establish and achieve goals for themselves to reach greater independence. So again, with me is Patti Fuller, who is the program manager for this Family Self-Sufficiency Program, and also Donna Drinka, who is the Director of Case Management for Lake County Services, and Xochitl Villarreal, who is a case manager with the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. And Xochitl, before the break, we were talking about some of the most important qualities that case managers have, and I wonder if you can also then translate that into talking about the different goals that different participants have. How do you, as a case manager, for example, help the participants establish and achieve their education goals when they've got childcare issues to deal with? How does that work?
That's a good question. I think it comes down a lot to being able to empower them to make their own decisions. When we get together with our program participants and create these service plans, it's not goals that we decide to put on them. These are goals that they're setting up for themselves. And so it comes down to identifying the next steps or the immediate steps that they need to take. So that can be anywhere from engaging with another agency for resources or contacting their local housing authority, enrolling back into school, finding different employment, or working on mock interviews for future employment. So these goals that we set up with our program participants are really led by them, and us as case managers are just simply there to empower them and support them through their process and their journey.
That makes a lot of sense. And I know oftentimes that your program goals evolve with the needs of the participants. Can you share with us, Xochitl, maybe an example in which a participant shared some feedback with you about something that would be helpful in the program, and then you and your colleagues were able to implement that?
Yeah, so in our program, we have a standard annual survey that is being sent out to all of our program participants. The survey is more general about our agency services, our program services. So that comes down to asking if our times are working for them, if transportation is an issue, in which ways we can improve our program. And then we also have another survey that's sent out mid-year that focuses on more program-specific details. So monthly meetings, whether or not those work in the weekends or afternoons, and we adjust as we go. Recently, we had feedback that informed us that Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning meetings are not the best time. So we've adjusted. Some are still on Zoom and some are being done now on weekend or week afternoons.
That's so wonderful that you can adapt in that way and be so responsive to the participants so they keep going toward achieving their goals. You know, Patti, I'd like to turn it back to you and just talk a little bit about, you know, the root causes of why some of the participants, you know, have been struggling. You know, there's so many barriers to being self-sufficient that can sometimes get in the way of people's independence and their stability in life. Can you talk to us a little bit about what some of those barriers are and how the Family Self-Sufficiency Program works to help them overcome those barriers?
Sure. So some have been mentioned. We've talked a little bit about that transportation barrier. A lot of our program participants, it's very expensive right now to own a vehicle. And so a lot of our participants are either dependent on somebody else or maybe public transportation to get to us. And so that's definitely a barrier. We've talked about childcare. That's another one that we see. We have individuals that are coming to us out of trauma, or they might be experiencing symptoms or a diagnosis of mental illness, medical illnesses, disabilities, theirs and or their children. A big one that we see a lot of, Katie, is lack of family and community support. Our individuals are some that don't have that support system that we may, as individuals here on this show, take a little bit for granted. Not everybody had that type of consistent support in their life. So these are things that we really do see a lot of. And what we then try to do is come in and provide that missing support. For our program participants, we also link them up a lot. I mean, a lot of people don't know the community resources that are literally out their back door. So for childcare, we have resources we can help get somebody signed up for and sent to. The same with legal issues. You know, we have direct connections with legal barriers that some individuals might have. If they have an involvement with the criminal justice system in their past that prevents housing and or employment, we can help work, you know, with them through other agencies to get those things removed from a background that might, you know, prevent those types of things. So we really do, as Xochitl mentioned, that individualized case planning. We help identify what are things happening right now. We break it down into 3-month intervals. And what can we do right now to knock down some of those barriers to accomplish that year-long plan and then over the terms of that 5-year, you know, time that they're with us. So that's really how we work, very individualized with everybody.
All three of you ladies are so skilled and experienced and compassionate. I can't help but think what a blessing you are in the lives of the participants in this program. You know, as we described a little bit earlier and showed those photos, that one of the highlights of the Family Self-Sufficiency Program is that achievement celebration that you have every year to help the participants recognize their milestones in the year. You know, Donna, can I turn it back to you and can you tell us about the event? I know it's coming up on Saturday, April 27th. What are some of the milestones being achieved and acknowledged this year by participants in this program?
Actually, I'm going to hand it over to Patti.
Oh, okay, great.
So yeah, Katie, we're gathering those now. Some of the things that we have gotten feedback from and our program participants, they're very excited to share. We have multiple program participants who are going to be first-time homeowners in this time period from July 1 of last year through April 30th of this year. We have some who have been pre-approved, but they haven't identified the home or gone through that process yet. We have some who are very excited to share that they've, kept employment, stable employment for over a year, which is big for some of our program participants, or they've earned some certifications, some trade licensing, some undergrad degrees, some associate degrees, even some who have accomplished master's degrees. We have one who accomplished a nurse practitioner degree in behavioral health. So very exciting things. Small businesses are being started, food licensing, food sanitation, really exciting things for our program participants.
Those are huge milestones that you just mentioned, Patti. And as people work toward their graduation, what would be those requirements for graduation after the 5 years?
So we still are hoping to see and need to see that stable housing stayed in place at that 5-year mark. So you come to us stably housed, there might be something in between that happens. We work to get you re-stably housed, but at the time of graduation, we are really focused on stable housing, what is called suitable employment. So suitable employment will look different for everyone. We strive for a full-time job. If you're in school, we want to see part-time employment and, continuing education as well. And we look for no cash assistance. So a program called TANF, which offers actual cash assistance to needy families. We're looking for those types of cash assistance programs to no longer be in play at the end of that 5 years. We encourage a savings account. It's not required, but we really strongly push for our individuals to get linked with banking and a savings account as well.
And the success stories really are quite incredible. How do other single head of households hear about this program? If anybody today is watching the program, Patti, what would you say to them to learn about the program and contact you to join it?
So we are still connected with our housing authorities up here in Lake County. So that would be the Waukegan Housing Authority, the North Chicago Housing Authority, also the Lake County Housing Authority. As individuals come in there, we do get referrals from those 3 places, case managers from other internal Catholic Charities programs. And right now we have another staff member who's not with us in this show today who works tirelessly for outreach in our community. And Jocelyn's out there making tons of connections. Actually, that's where she is right now, sitting at a community meeting, making outreach for us. And very exciting for us this year, we are initiating a new program that we're heavily involved in. We're going to start advertising on our PACE bus lines up here. So PACE buses that go through the Lake County area will start to advertise through there for a 6-month period upcoming this year.
That's fantastic.
And word of mouth too, from the different family members one to another. That has been a big opportunity for recruitment as well.
I bet it is. People who finish the program and want to tell everybody they know about all that they've achieved and all that this program can do. So again, the phone number is 847-782-4233 to reach Patti Fuller, the manager of the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, or you could reach her through email at pfuller, Fuller, at CatholicCharities.net. Just in the short time we have left, I just wonder if each of you might reflect briefly on what being part of this program means to you personally. Xochitl, can I start with you?
Yeah, I think for me, in the short term that I've been in the program, it's very inspiring. These are individuals who lack a support system, whether through family or in the community, and they come into our program and they are thrown so many different challenges, but they overcome each and every single one of them. And to see them during our achievement celebration, celebrating either achieving something as simple as getting employment or being on time with their bills for 6 months, something so simple to an everyday person is so inspiring to see on an everyday basis as their case manager.
I bet it sure is, Xochitl. How about you, Donna? Anything to add to that?
Yeah, I agree. The achievement celebration is such a inspiring event. And some of the clients come into our program, they get a little chip on their shoulder and they really don't want to be here. They don't want to participate. But the support of the staff and that relationship, they start to really engage and they start to really believe in this program. And then the next thing, then they're talking they're giving their story at our achievement celebration. And it's so inspiring, so heart-tugging. And the accomplishments that some of these families have made is just amazing. And you can't just help but, cheer for them. And it's just, it's a great program. And I really, a lot of the support goes to the staff as well as the clients. As Patti has mentioned, they do all the work, but our staff are right there by them.
Wonderful. And Patti, can you add something in 10 seconds or less as we run out of time here?
Sure, Katie, thanks. I think for me, it's the connection and those aha moments that we see our program participants make, right? So the barriers they come in with, fear is a big one. And when they overcome that fear and they start making big moves for themselves, things start small and then that gap goes real wide, real fast. And that's just a nice moment to see.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, as I said at the top of the show, I admire all three of you so much for all you're doing to help these families transform their lives. Patti, Donna, and Xochitl, thank you so much for being on the show today and sharing news of all the great things happening in the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. We invite everyone in the audience to be back in a couple weeks when Xochitl is going to be back with one of the participants in the program to hear her experience. For now, again, thank you so much, ladies, and I wish you continued success and a wonderful day on April 27th.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you. And we invite all of you back again next week for another edition of The Voice of Charity. For now, this is Katie Bredemann, and we thank you for tuning in and believing in the mission of Catholic Charities.